Hello everyone. Today we're diving into LEGO Icons set number 10,315 Tranquil Garden. This set dropped on August 1st, 2023 and comes with 1,363 pieces. Once built, it's about 32 centimeters wide, 21 centimeters deep and roughly the same in height. Its retail price is about €105 or $110. As an adult fan of LEGO, I was curious. There's something very serene and satisfying about this one. I spotted a deal and thought, Friday night, cozy setup, good movie. This is perfect to build. So, let's get started. The building instructions are kept simple and clean. On the first few pages, you'll find some nice images of the finished model. And then, just as you'd expect from LEGO, it's a very straightforward and relaxing build. This set comes with no stickers at all, which is always a plus, and only a handful of printed elements. Among them are 2 different water tiles. It's a subtle detail, but it really adds a touch of life to the garden scene. The build begins with the base for the waterside house. The whole structure follows a classic Asian-inspired design. A small highlight inside the house is a dining setup complete with a teapot and 2 soup bowls. And it's worth noting, there are no exclusive elements in this set. Everything you see here can be recreated with standard pieces, which makes the design even more accessible. When I opened bag number 3 and started working on the large base plate, the foundation for the house and the surrounding scenery, I hit a little snag. The instructions called for 3 dark green 1x3 plates, but in my copy of the set, there was only 1 included, and instead of the other 2, I got a single 1x6 plate. To keep the build going, I dipped into my own parts collection and substituted 2 pieces in a slightly different shade of green. Thankfully, once everything was in place, it blended in so well that you really don't notice it at all. Still, issues like this shouldn't happen, even if experienced builders know it's not uncommon with LEGO sets. Apart from that hiccup, the overall color palette is very consistent. There are only a handful of odd-colored support pieces hidden inside, like a few yellow plates, but nothing that distracts once the build is complete. In fact, that makes the set a really solid parts pack. If you can find it at a discount, as I did, it's perfect for anyone who enjoys creating their own mocks. For me, I picked it up for just €70, which works out to about 5 cents per piece. That's fantastic value. And for builders who focus on Asian-inspired creations, castles, landscaping, or detailed greenery, this set provides a wide range of versatile elements you'll definitely use again. So yes, beyond being a beautiful display model, I'd say the Tranquil Garden earns extra points as a parts treasure chest. Another thing I really appreciate in this set are the black border bricks and plates. These are highly sought-after pieces when it comes to building darker or more dramatic mocks, whether that's for gloomy dioramas, fortress walls, or simply to frame a display base with a premium look. The foundation of the model is cleverly supported with LEGO tire elements that act as rubber feet. This not only keeps the set from sliding around but also raises it slightly, giving the whole garden a more elevated, elegant presence when it sits on your shelf. It feels stable, premium, and display ready. What also stands out to me, and this is something I really enjoy about many of LEGO's more recent designs, is how the build goes beyond simple stacking. The designers make great use of vertical connections, attaching elements at angles to create texture and depth. In this set, you can see that approach in the small cliffs around the garden. They're not just straight walls of bricks, they've been shaped with parts clipped on in creative ways, which makes the scene much more organic. The riverbed is another neat detail. Underneath, the base layer is made up of black, dark green, and standard green plates. Over the top, translucent light blue 1x2 tiles are laid down, giving the impression of water flowing over depth and vegetation. It's a simple technique, but the color variation makes the water feel alive and visually very convincing. Overall, it's small touches like these, practical display features, clever techniques and thoughtful color layering that elevate Tranquil Garden from just a static model into something that really rewards a closer look. Another highlight in the build is the arched bridge. The designers went for a bold red colour, and while you could argue whether that shade truly fits, once it's in place, it somehow works, adding a strong visual accent to the otherwise calm palette. What really impressed me though is the construction itself. It uses bendable elements known as hose rigid to create that elegant curve. It's a clever technique and feels very authentic once you see it assembled. Towards the end of the base build, the central pavilion is raised on wooden-style supports, giving it the look of a traditional house built above the ground. Around it, the vegetation starts to come together. The plants, the stepping stones, and especially the two blossoming trees. Their white and pink leaves are clearly inspired by Japanese cherry blossoms in full bloom. The trees start with simple brown elements forming the trunk and branches. Onto those go white plant leaves, followed by clusters of pink blossoms. Personally, if I were building the same technique into one of my own mocks, I'd add a lot more foliage, because as they stand here, the trees do look a little sparse. What I really like, though, is how the designers handled the placement of the larger plants and trees. Instead of locking them into one fixed position, they're built to sit neatly on tiles. That means you can rearrange them on the base plate however you like, shifting the layout, creating variety, and giving the garden a slightly different look each time you display it. It's a simple solution, but a very clever one. The bamboo build is clever, using grey bars and modified plates to achieve that angled look. The technique works nicely, but colour-wise, grey doesn't quite sell the idea of living plants. It either needs better coverage, or, ideally, parts in green. To wrap up, Tranquil Garden delivers a clean instruction booklet, no stickers, a few subtle prints, and some very versatile parts. The build techniques, like the bridge, cliffs, and flexible tree placements, make it both relaxing and inspiring. For me, at a discounted price, it's an excellent set for display and as a parts pack. If you enjoyed this review, hit the like button, subscribe for more LEGO content, and drop a comment with your thoughts on the set. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.